Hey, I'm Ray Geyer. I go by the artist name Squishy Puss. I specialize in all things pink, and I am the host of the Hellions podcast. Art really started when I was 9 years old. But then once I got somewhat good at it or figured out that I could draw decently well, I stopped because people wanted me to draw things or paint things that I didn't care about. And so I started to lose passion in that. So I didn't do it for probably 20 years. Through a series of trying to work up a corporate ladder kind of situation, I found myself fired, downsized, let go, laid off. I ended up finding myself homeless at one point, and I ended up getting another job. And then I got let go of that job, and I was almost about to be homeless a second time. And I started going through dumpsters, pulling out TV screens and like clothes and stuff and going online and selling them because I did not want to go back to being homeless again. It was at that point where I was like, I have to start investing in myself and figuring out how to take all those good ideas that I gave to my bosses, and I got to start figuring out a way to do them myself, so that if my ideas are as good as I think they were, why shouldn't I benefit from those good ideas? So I started drawing. I have a French Bulldog, and because he was always just around, I just started drawing him. I was really bad at drawing. So I barely got through like figuring out how his face would kind of be put together. And so instead of like figuring out now how to draw a body, I just took two lines and kind of just connected them and go, okay, it's a tentacle now. And so I just drew a bunch of them, and I was like, cool, now I have this thing. It's a squishy faced dog with an octopus body. He's the Squishy Puss. Then I started wheat pasting him. So wheat paste is basically, you take wallpaper glue, you can take a piece of paper and then you put the wallpaper glue on a surface and then you put the paper down, your artwork. I'm like illegally going out and putting up, like pasting my cartoons. The interesting thing is, while I drew and put them and then would paste them out, you know, and I'd go back home the next day and I draw some more, I naturally just got better at drawing. So that's kind of like how this whole thing started, which was, but I got addicted to it because I'd see people as I'm driving around, people like taking pictures or on Twitter, like, who is this guy? I was dropping them for Free Art Friday, and people started hitting me up on Instagram like, hey, I've been trying to find one. I just buy one? And I'm like, buy this? They're like, sure. I'm like, I don't, they're like, how much? I'm like, I don't know, $10? Like, I don't know. Pink dogs is what I specialize in. I do have another couple characters, which is a donut, a unicorn, a narwhal, and a dinosaur. But other than that, it's pink dogs. Sometimes it's something that catches me off guard and it makes me laugh, or I just think about goofy stuff. So your brain just kind of wanders into these places, and I go, sure. And I start drawing that. And I'm like, I'm just gonna incorporate that into something. I try to pull from the things that in my life are making me happy and add a little bit of humor to my day, and then how can I create something around that? I had this moment where I just realized that I have to start making people care about what I do. And the best way to do that was to give more than I receive, to make sure that the people around me are being taken care of, and to make sure that when people see my artwork that they can find some little piece of happiness with. So I think now when people see my work, it's kind of like a weird pink Atlanta bat signal, but for hope. Like, oh wait, this guy that was homeless 6 or 7 years ago is now turned his life around and is able to do this thing that he loves full time for a living. I don't know, I think it motivates people, it gives people hope. And so I hope now when people look at what I do, they're seeing that in my work and not just like fun cartoons. But the interesting thing is, if you like fun cartoons, you got that as well.